Generally, users go through the process to create their forms and submit them at the same time. Submitting the forms just comes naturally at the end of the process of creating the forms, whether you do that by import or by manually creating the forms. However, sometimes you need to step away from the process, or you may get interrupted during that process and need to come back into Tax 1099 and submit your forms. There are two places you could go to do that. One place you could go is over on the left, under the Forms, View, Edit, Submit Forms menu. You could also use the new dashboard and look at your not submitted forms, and then go straight into one set of those forms by clicking the View button over on the right. Either of those two options will take you to the same place. However, if you're using the dashboard and the not submitted forms and clicking the View button, everything will load for you as you go in. So I'm going to do that because it will eliminate a couple of steps that I would otherwise need to do. If I'd used the View, Edit, Submit Forms menu, I would have needed to make sure I had the right form, tax year, and payer listed in my drop boxes in order for me to pull up the information for my filing. However, by just using the not submitted forms and clicking on the View button, I was able to come in and see exactly what I want to do here. So I have all of my forms that are created here. I would select the boxes on the left to do the e-filing of those forms, and then I would choose any other options that I want. If I want Tax 1099 to mail the forms for me, I will choose USPS Mail. If I have email addresses and my recipients will accept an email copy of the form, and I can choose to email. I don't have any email addresses on file. I can choose TIN Match. That allows Tax 1099 to verify that the taxpayer identification number and name entered are correct and match the database that the IRS has. And if I have any non-combined federal state filing states, those would be states like Pennsylvania or Oregon, or a handful of others. You can check our knowledge base to find out which ones those are. Then I could choose state filing, and it would file to those states. Any states like California or about 30 others that participate in the combined federal state filing automatically get filed, and you don't need to worry about those. You won't see those here. I can also use the scheduled e-file date in order to e-file at the last possible time to the IRS. My forms would be due, if they're 1099 miscellaneous forms like these are, either by March 31st for my non-Box 7 amounts. So I'm going to set that date, March 31st for my non-Box 7 amounts, or January 31st for my Box 7 amounts. And you can see we can manage both of those scenarios here. When I click OK, I would then see that my dates have been updated and changed to reflect either March 31st or January 31st, depending on the type of box that I was using to file for that specific piece of information. I have options over on the right where I could view, edit, or delete a single one of these forms. And then also at the top of the screen, I have a couple of options as well. Beyond changing the scheduled date, I can calculate how much I'm going to owe for this filing to Tax 1099. I can download the PDFs. These would come out in single PDF copies, one for each of the forms. I can export it to Excel, which is a good way to view the data and see what I'm working with. I can use the Sum All Box Amount feature. That lets me see out of each one of my boxes what my sum total is, just so I can verify that I have the right information that I'm filing for each one of the boxes. I even get a recipient taxpayer identification number sum here. That will total up all of my Social Security numbers or EINs, just as if they were added together, and then I can compare that back to a spreadsheet or back to my original data. So that Sum All Box Amount is helpful. And then I've got the Delete Selected option as well. Once I've selected whatever I want to have Tax 1099 do for me, then I am going to move on to my next phase. And by the way, if I don't choose USPS mail or email here, then I am assuming that I'm going to send those out by PDF copy. And you'll get a PDF copy at the end of this process. You can go to the Manage Forms page and you can print the PDF copy. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send these out myself via PDF. So I've selected the e-file buttons on the left. I'm going to click Next. You have an option either to mask or unmask the taxpayer identification number on the forms that you send out. If you want to unmask them, in other words, if you want to show the full 9 digits of the taxpayer identification number on the forms, you would unmask them by choosing this box here. I don't want to do that. I want to protect the identity of the people that I'm sending them to, and that's what the IRS recommends as well. So I'm not going to use that option. I also get a message that I've not chosen U.S. Postal Service mail or email, and that's okay because I'm going to print these PDFs out. These folks actually work in my office, so I'm going to print them out and hand them to them. And then I get this message too if I have duplicates. So it says I have duplicates for 2 of my recipients. So if I wanted to, I could cancel this, I could go back, and I could fix that duplicate. And so that's an important message to see because we do validate and show you if you have duplicates before you go through the filing process. In my case, I'm just doing this for a demonstration, so I'm just going to click OK. It'll take me to my next page, and it will show me what I need to pay for this filing. I have my total over here. I have my total filing fee that I'm paying. I have a prepay balance though, so you'll notice that I'm only actually going to put $10.10 on my card because I have $11.80 that's existing in my prepay balance. I just enter my credit card information, enter my billing address information, click on Pay and Submit to e-file, and I'll be done with my process. Once I've completed that filing process, I'll be able to see these as a submitted status back on my dashboard. So I'll be able to see all of the forms that I've submitted here through Tax 1099.